Oh, it is the Blues to Do TV show, a live streaming podcast. We'll archive it later at youtube.com/Seattle Drum School. That's where we are here in Georgetown. It's a lovely rainy day here in Seattle. Don't forget, we still get those rainy days. People think it's always sunny here, but no, we get rain, and it is raining today. So my name is Marlee Walker. I'm really thrilled to be here every single week. Christian Sadler is my engineer. I would not be able to do it without him, so thanks to him. It is a weekly project we put together in the fall of this year, and it's still going. We're still looking for a little more sponsorship. We have free coffee and treats for our live audience every Sunday. Thank you, Renee, for being here. While supplies last, of course. And you can watch anytime all of the guests that we've had for the whole fall and into this new year at youtube.com, like I mentioned, /C, Seattle Drum School, or /Seattle Drum School. Just Google, and put it in search, Seattle Drum School. It'll pop up. So our live guest today is Anthony Estrada. He resides in Tacoma, and I had him on my show probably decades ago. We were both trying to remember when, but we're going to have a conversation today and find out about his alternate ID as the Idea Soldier. Yes, we have a lot to talk about. It's going to be a fun conversation.
It was back in the 1800s you had me on.
Is that what it was? Oh, thank you. I hardly remember that century. But yes, thanks for being here, and we'll get the couple of features in, then we'll get our conversation started. We are sponsored by Mitch's Best Buffalo Sauce, and you can scan that QR code behind me, mitchesfoods.com. We sure appreciate his sponsorship. Got us going, and he has some great sauce, too. Mitch's Best Buffalo Sauce is featured at our events when we do events here, and you can also pick it up directly from Mitch. I'll tell you more later. It is. I'll tell you more later. You've had some, huh?
Oh, he sent me 3 bottles for playing a guitar solo that didn't get used on his album.
Ooh, nice. That's a good way to get paid.
Yeah.
A nice way to get paid.
Nice work if you can get it.
Well, and his heart is in it. He makes food in lots of ways that is love tender. Here is my love for you. So we're broadcasting on Duwamish land in Seattle's Georgetown area from the lab, LAB. That stands for Little Auditorium in the back at 1010 South Bailey at the Seattle Drum School of Music. We recognize the Duwamish tribe people and thank them for taking care of this land for generations, and we're working on paying the rent. All right, you can check out more of Anthony Estrada's music on Instagram and YouTube. Look at youtube.com/Idea Soldier while we're talking, and you can listen to the music. This is an interactive element of the show. Looking for more of that. So, yeah, he said to go to YouTube or also to Pickin' with Antoine _Duron, Dooron. And yes, that is the Duron, run. We'll talk more about that later. He said that everything he's got is on the Pickin' with Antoine _Duron. Now, I've known this guy for decades now, and seen his growth and development, and I'm very proud of where he's taken this. He is all about the healing and the healing power of music, so we're going to talk about that. And he's reached a really lovely balance with that, so we're going to talk about balance and karate and how that plays into your music. But
karate?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say martial arts plays a part in it, Marlee.
Well, you got a number of facets about you, and so we'll touch on some, maybe not that one. So thank you very much for coming to the show, Anthony Estrada.
Thank you.
And you also play 4 instruments at least: guitar, bass, drums, harmonica. Known for the guitar and harmonica.
Percussion as well.
And percussion. That's the word that I left out. Instead of drums, percussion. Why do you call it percussion instead of drums?
Well, because in addition to playing the trap set rudimentarily, I also play African percussion.
Ah. You studied it?
I have.
Who'd you study with?
On my own, mainly, but I just kind of picked it up as something to take me back to my roots.
Right. Well, talk about your roots. Did you have music in your family growing up? I
come from 2 generations of drummers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, right on.
My grandfather was a drummer, and my dad was a drummer.
Okay. So now tell me about that. Did they play music, or was it just drums in the house?
No, my grandfather played with Mercy D. Walton.
Mercy D. Walton. Tell me about that.
Mercy D. Walton was a piano player from Texas. He wrote the tune One Room Country Shack, and it sold 1 million copies, and Art Roop, the owner of Specialty Records, did not pay him a dime.
Ooh, that's too often a repeated story. Sorry about that.
Well, it still goes on today, unfortunately. And it's rumored that my grandfather was maybe the drummer on One Room Country Shack.
Okay. So did he gig with Mercy D. Walton?
He absolutely did.
That's how they had to make money, because they weren't going to make it on the record sales.
Well, of course. Yeah, I mean...
Kind of get famous on the record sales. Same thing that's kind of the business model now. You get famous, but you don't make any money. You got to go out and gig to make the money.
Yeah, and that's kind of how it was then. You know, I mean, my grandfather not only played with Mercy D, he played with Jimmy McCracklin. He played a little bit with Lowell Folsom. These guys would come by the house all the time.
Wow.
In California. And another guy that came by the house one time, my dad remembers a big, towering man coming in the house. Mm-hmm. And then this guy reaching down to shake my father's hand. And he goes, "How you doing, little man?" Big Joe Turner.
Wow. The one and only Big Joe Turner. See, I played his records on the radio. Yeah. So where were you in this? Were you hearing these stories from your dad, or were you actually there in the room?
I was hearing. I'm hearing them from my father.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, even today. Mm-hmm. You know, and there was also a piano player that would come by the house and jam with my grandfather, and they called him LL.
LL.
Yeah, and I later found out by further coaxing my dad that this was Lloyd Glenn.
Oh, look out.
That's Lowell Folsom's piano player.
Okay.
And one thing that he would do when he would get mad at Lowell Folsom, he said, "Now, Folsom, tune your guitar.
All right.
You're so out of tune all the time. And stay on the chord changes."
Oh.
"Lord of mercy, you're going to kill me." He just had that high, effeminate voice.
I see.
He just was always aggravated at Lowell Folsom.
And you heard this story from your dad.
I heard this from...
So this got you started in the blues. This had to wet your whistle a little bit, make you want to play.
Well, no, I heard these stories much later in life.
Okay.
After I started playing.
Okay, tell me that.
This is all encoded in my DNA.
Okay.
Already,
Sure.
But like I heard these stories much later, way after I started playing. I didn't hear these stories until my 40s. So, you know, like I just went through most of my life just loving this music and not knowing why, and now I know.
Right. In your genes.
This is literally encoded in my DNA, Marlee.
Sure. No, I don't doubt that.
Yeah.
It's a good generational thing.
Yeah.
To pick up on those music
good.
vibes.
It's good, and sometimes, you know, it can be a curse, but, you know, I mean, but who God blesses, no man can curse. That's a Rastafarian proverb.
Okay.
That I like to live by. So I don't see it as a curse anymore.
Nice. Now you have some stuff on you. You have a bracelet, a necklace, a cross. Tell me about some of these, the meaning of some of these things.
Okay. Well, you asked me about the bracelet.
Yes.
This was given to me by my mother. Now, this holds water from the highest point of elevation in the world and the lowest point of elevation in the world. This is water from Mount Everest and water from the Dead Sea. This represents balance.
Ah, that's the balance we were talking about.
Yeah, hopefully, I'd like to have more balance in my life, but that's just a work in progress.
Aren't we all a work in progress?
Yeah,
I think you're getting there. Man.
Yeah, I try.
I've seen you in a rougher state, and you're looking pretty good. You're sounding pretty good.
I'm still in a rough state. But.
Well, it's right. You're different than other people. It's okay to be different. I like that about you.
Well, that's what makes us beautiful, Marlee.
Exactly. I have an appreciation for who you are, and you're playing as well. Now, I heard from Renee that when you play music or hear music, you have a movie going on in your head. There's colors. But tell me about that. What's going on?
I see songs play out as though it's almost like a movie going on or movie scenes going on in my mind. I see the song play out as though there's a music video going on, but it's like real life going on. And so that causes very deep emotions in my mind, and sometimes I will smell smells, and I'll see other things going on, as though the song is taking place in real life.
It seems like that'd be a real distraction if you're trying to play a song, to have all that other sensory stimulation.
Sometimes it is, and sometimes I'll get so deeply wrapped up in the song that other things will happen that carry me to another place.
There's a name for this.
Synesthesia.
Synesthesia.
Our friend on the sound engineering,
Christian brought that.
Christian
He brings
brought us-
something every week. Yeah.
Christian,
I
thank
love
you.
that about him. And so
God bless you.
synesthesia, you have suffered from this, or is it suffering?
No, it's not quite suffering. It's
Okay.
just something that you deal with, and something that you take and you learn from, and something that you learn to use as a tool.
There you go. You work with it.
Yeah,
So now when you play music, you enjoy the colors
I do.
and the movies.
Yeah. You just kind of, when you have a thought in Zen Buddhism, you learn to let those thoughts pass by as though they were clouds.
Okay.
So you learn to do this in meditation. When a thought comes by, you treat it as though it were a passing cloud in the sky. So thought comes up, let it pass.
If it's a negative, especially.
Especially if it's a negative.
If it's
Especially.
a positive, maybe
If it's
keep
a positive, like say it's something you need to do, let it go by, save it for later.
right. Put that on that list.
Yeah, just sometimes it helps to write it down as well.
Yeah. I'm a list maker myself.
Yeah. Just keep a during meditation, if you're meditating, keep a pad and a pencil by you, and just especially a pencil if you tend to make mistakes, and just write it down.
Well, now you create music as well. I didn't
do.
mention this, but over 200 songs you have penned. Tell
Maybe
me about
more.
Maybe more.
I
What's
got
that?
some unfinished ones too.
Well, of course, it's a work in progress.
Yeah.
So when you create, tell me about that process for you.
Well, sometimes it just starts off as an idea or a thought form, and it just kind of, or a riff even, or even a rhythm, and I'll just go from there. And I'll just get it onto the computer or a tape recorder or something like that, and I'll just build from there. Or sometimes it'll just start by words, and it can just be any number of things that I'll just open up a song with.
When you're meditating, you get that little notepad.
Sometimes it's that, or sometimes I'll just be sitting listening to music or just doing whatever, a menial task, like cleaning the bathroom.
Amen.
At my folks' house. It's just like all of a sudden I'll just be, scrubbing the bathtub, and all of a sudden, like, hey, I got an idea for a song. Here we go.
I love it. I love it.
I won't leave the bathtub per se, but just because I got to clean it. But
Right.
as soon as I'm done cleaning that bathroom, I'll go and grab my guitar or whatever. Just like, I got this idea. I have to get it down.
Right on. Well, we are sitting here with the Idea Soldier, also known as Anthony Estrada, or if you look at...
Or Cousin Antoine
there you go, Antoine_Duron.
on Instagram.
On Instagram, there we go, IG.
Yeah, there we go.
The IG connection, as he said, is where you find most of his stuff. I'm going to do a segue right into my bathroom review because I skipped over that earlier, and you just made this so easy for me. I also do a blues prevention segment, which I forgot already, so I'm going to do that. Thank you, Christian, for hanging with me. Blues prevention, in this case, is a little bit of wisdom from my bulletin board. I just take a picture of something on my bulletin board. I got to share that. That's something we all kind of need a little more. And recently I was taking a mindfulness class, so I do recommend that, and I'll probably bring that into this eventually. Not a lot, just a little piece, little nuggets, so that you don't feel like I'm preaching. It's Sunday, but I'm not in the mood to preach. Okay, last week we did our first one. It was about relationships, the 5 A's. If you haven't heard about this, profound, look it up, my last show with Jeza Duhan. we talked about how to have a healthy relationship. And this time I'm going to pull 3 items from the Dalai Lama. Dalai Lama is quoted a lot. People, for some reason, refer to him, but don't always read his wisdom or whatever. So I'm going to try and share little nuggets, as I said. There we are. 17, remember that the best relationship is one in which your love for each other exceeds your need for each other. That's a nice one. It's talking about relationships. We segue nicely. And 18, judge your success by what you had to give up in order to get it. That's an interesting perspective thing. And then finally, approach love and cooking with reckless abandon. I love that one because some of my favorite people just have a mess in the kitchen. Afterwards, it's beauty. It is creative bliss on a plate.
Never measure your ingredients.
No, right. Once you get good at it, it's just a matter of a little bit of this and a little bit of that. So yes, that's our piece of wisdom, sharing with you about love and cooking and successful relationships. There we go.
Like it.
Our bathroom review is Tim's Tavern over there in White Center. Tim's stands for Together in Music. I like the place. It has an outdoor stage scene with cover for the rain, because, you know, we have rain here, and little heaters. They have high-class music there. I mean, it is some of the best Northwest stuff booked on a regular basis. So do check out their calendar over there at Tim's. I rave about the venue. The bathroom, oh, there it is. It's pretty nice, too. See, over there in the corner, beware of cougar. That's in the women's bathroom. I wonder why.
Definitely beware of them.
Great picture of Billie Holiday behind the commode. Anyway, they have a nice paneling, what do you call that type of paneling? Anyway, some nice feel, and it smells great. You know,
that's wood paneling.
Wood paneling, yes.
I like that.
A good bathroom goes a long way with this this particular host. Thank you very much. Every week I try to feature a bathroom review. What was that, Christian? Ship what? Ship Lab. Oh, that's the type of the paneling. He knows. See, he brings stuff I don't even know. Shiplap is the type of glass. Oh, is the type of wood. All right then. Whew. It is the Northwest. We know all about wood and wooden things and trees and stuff like that. We're all about that, definitely, in our history. Okay, one mention of my sponsor, and then we'll get back to our interview with Anthony Estrada. Mitch's Best Buffalo Sauce coming at you. I went too fast.
Mitch's Best Buffalo Sauce. Mitch's Best Buffalo Sauce. Well, the sauce boss says you've tried the rest. Well, you'll be back, 'cause this one's best. Mitch's Best Buffalo Sauce.
Ah, yes, and a word from our sponsor, Mitch's Best Buffalo Sauce. With just the right heat and just the right bite, this rich and creamy sauce made with all real butter tastes great on everything except dessert. Handmade in small batches, it's made like a gourmet French sauce. It tastes great on any chicken dish, including wings. It's also great on any seafood, roasted vegetables, and many other foods. I like avocados myself. It's magical. Available locally at QFC, Metropolitan Markets, Hagen Markets, and most fine meat shops in the Puget Sound area. Order directly from Chef Mitch, the sauce boss, at mitchesfoods.com. He's a busy man. I'm trying to get him on my show, but it's hard to find a date when we can get him here. But he's running around with that sauce all over the place. So
yeah, the man is busy with that sauce.
Look out. Look out.
They said you don't want to try it on ice cream, but it's so good, I just might try it on ice cream.
So now people want to check out your music, Anthony Estrada. We don't do that here on this show. We have conversation. But they can find all your stuff at Pickin' With on Instagram at Antoine_Duran. Am I right?
No.
I'm off.
That's the Instagram. The Instagram is at Antoine_Duran, and the YouTube is Pickin' With Antoine Duran, and that's at youtube.com//Idea Soldier.
Now we got it. Okay. Yeah. I appreciate that. Now, you got that nickname for Milky Burgess?
I did.
Yeah, I love Milky. He's a character,
I
too.
love that, man.
So you want to tell us that story or not?
Well, no. I don't mind getting into it.
Go ahead.
He used to always say, and now introducing the pride of Puyallup, the terror of Tacoma, back when I used to live in Puyallup, And he says, and then he just one night come out with this Antoine Duran. I'm like, oh Lord have mercy. He says, so here we go.
It's stuck.
It just stuck. And then my bass man, and he also plays guitar with me in the duo sometimes. In my band, the Cold 102s, Johnny Horn stuck me with Cousin Antoine, which I like better.
Okay, good.
And when he had Preaching the Blues on KEXP, he would go on and say, now this one goes out to Cousin Antoine. He'd send me out dedications on the show, and Cousin Antoine stuck even further. And so now I just run with the Cousin Antoine more than I do with the Antoine Duran.
I see. And you like old music, old stuff.
Well, yeah, I like old and new. I mean, but like tend to stick with the older stuff because I'm an atavist at heart.
A what?
An atavist.
Atavist? What's that mean?
Somebody who is atavistic tends to delve deeper into the older stuff, like an archaeologist.
Oh, okay. And when you say old, where are you talking about? Freddie King? Are you talking about Bessie Smith, Robert Johnson? Where do you go?
All of it.
All of it.
Like, and across the board, not just blues. I mean, I'm talking about, like, going back into soul music, into jazz, into funk, into rock and roll, into country music, into gospel, into punk rock, into you name it. I mean, on into. I mean, I'm a music anthropologist, an amateur music anthropologist, and I like to dig out the roots.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
You talked about Sun Ra when we were having coffee earlier.
Yeah.
Orchestra. Tell me about that story, because that's kind of in parallel to. I mean, there's archaeology in his music, if you will.
Indeed,
as well.
he was an Egyptologist.
Tell me more.
And he would find rare books to read about many subjects, especially about Egypt. And it's kind of hard to go into without going into it in great detail, but
Sure.
what we were talking about was his foundation in percussion. And what he would have his band members of the orchestra do at the beginning of each show, most shows, they would go into a piece called Discipline, and they had different numbers, like Discipline number 99, for example. And each band member had a percussion implement, and they would start by playing this piece called Discipline, and they would each play this percussive piece for about 10, 15 minutes or so, and that would start the show.
Kind of a meditative, get in line, everybody lined up on the same page.
It was to get everybody in line, not only the band members, but the audience as well.
Sure.
In line for what was about to happen. Because most orchestra shows were like controlled chaos.
Right.
As it were, because I mean, even though to the average listener it sounded like chaos, everything was scored.
Sure.
On music.
And
but the band members knew it by heart.
And art reflects life, and that's all you have to say on that one. I tell you what, they reflected a lot of what was going on. So
Indeed.
So now you have, there's more to say, but we just don't have time for all of the orchestra conversation.
No.
But that's very cool. You have a regular gig in Belfair at the Bent Vine Brewery, open mic Thursdays. Tell me about that.
I play out there with a gentleman named Double H.
Double H.
I'll give away his police name. His name is Daniel Brady. And the reason why he goes by Double H is because he bills himself as the handicapped harpist. He's a harmonica player. He has cerebral palsy.
Okay.
And he's wonderful. He's my riding partner.
Nice.
He's my ride or die. And we host an open mic there every Thursday from 5 p.m. until the joint says when.
So they say, cut it off, guys.
Yeah. And it's usually till about 8 or 9.
Nice.
And we do that. It was called the Very Open Mic.
Very open mic.
At Bent Vine in Belfair.
Oh, that's a good way to do it. I like that.
Thank you.
And it is a place owned by Tim and Colleen Moss Brew. Colleen is Jerry Miller's daughter, who we had on the show. There's just
Yes, indeed.
It's a small world here. And you tell me about your healing process with the music. You have made that a part of your brand, if you will.
Yeah, the
to
blues
use a
that
word.
soothes.
Yes.
Yeah, I kind of took my cue from. I increasingly got into what they brand new age artists by listening to people like Stephen Halpern and Laraji and people of that ilk. And I started by listening to this music when I would go to sleep at night. And I said, what if I can put some of these healing properties to blues music?
Okay.
And just kind of went from there and say, what can I do to help people heal?
Oh, we need that. We need that. Well, now you do that also with your band, the Cold 102s. Tell me about that. We've got a few recordings here.
Mm-hmm.
You want to mention?
Sure. Yeah. We have a recording. This one here. This is Party Down at Pro-Ski. This was recorded live at Pro-Ski in North Bend. And the exact date is 9/24/22. This is September 22.
Getting out of the pandemic, just having a little moment. Yeah.
And then we have this one from April 22 at the Spar. That's the way we like it. I got a Sun Ra shirt on there. And then we have Cousin Antoine and the House Cats, Housebroken Boogie. And that was recorded with Mason Riley, Mark Riley's son, on bass, and Chef Jeff Meek on drums. He's a Tacoma fixture.
Nice.
And Curtis Smith on guitar. And Cousin Antoine and the House Cats, just a fun little project that we do.
Well, Tacoma has taken you in as you're a loved human being in Tacoma. Am I right?
I think
it's
so.
a good scene for you.
I would hope so.
Yeah. It feels like you're featured on a regular basis, different places.
Mm-hmm.
Where else do we find you playing? Do you go to Dawson's? Do you go to Spar?
The Spar
Yeah.
is a main spot, and that's just few and far between because they have such a large artist rotation.
I see. I've also seen you in Port Townsend. You get into acoustic blues? Are you
That's
deep
been
into
a long time, and
yeah, it has been a while.
It's I'm rarely, if ever, there.
Yeah. But the acoustic blues part of that is part of your
It's part of
melting pot.
Yeah, it's part of it, but I'm rarely, if ever, at Port Townsend.
Yeah, but you backed up Bonnie McCoy.
I did.
Tell me about that experience.
That was amazing, and
I'm talking about Memphis Minnie's niece.
Still in semi-regular contact with Bonnie McCoy and members of her family.
Yeah.
And that was. I played electric on that.
Yeah, and she's very special. She sounds like belongs in that era.
She does.
Her voice really fits well. She wants to come back, so we're gonna have to get you back with her. Do this again.
Her chief influence was Vernell Townsend.
Okay, tell me that.
Henry Townsend's wife.
Oh, yes. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, and she sounds just like Vernell.
Right.
It's eerie.
Yeah.
When you hear recordings of Vernell and you hear recordings of Bonnie and you hear Bonnie sing live, it's like Vernell is in the room.
Okay. Oh, what a great time we've had. It's only been a half an hour, so we could do this for probably a couple hours, but you got other things to do today, and I got a couple things I got to work on.
I got to put my tutu on and go to the ballet.
Very cool.
Oh, and I'll probably be playing. I sent in my application for Beacon Arts, and I also sent in my application for the Proctor Farmers Market. So
keep an eye out.
Keep an eye out.
Definitely, and we want to get you more in Seattle. The Folk Life Festival.
Please do.
Whatever we can do to get you out here.
All right.
A lot of those festivals finish booking in January, but you never know. There might be a slot that they haven't filled yet. I'm going to get around and do some more bathroom reviews, probably Jazz Alley and Nacho Mamas, where you can find me playing music every Thursday. That's right. I'm
Nacho
crossing
Mamas?
that line. Crossing that line every Thursday in White Center. I play from 5 to 7.
It's the same time as
I
my
know,
open
same
mic.
time as yours, but that's all right. I'll be thinking about you.
Okay, I'll be.
I
thinking,
gotta get out
we'll
to
be thinking about
Dawson's.
you guys too.
Do some more bathroom reviews out there. What's that place that Jerry plays on Wednesday too? Golden West. I got to get out there and do a bathroom review. You know, that gets me out and about, and I can write all that off my taxes.
All right.
Just joking. Okay, you can watch archives of this show at YouTube. It's just Google Seattle Drum School once you get to YouTube. And lots of great guests. We've had such a wonderful time doing this, and we'll keep doing it every Sunday afternoon from about 1 to 1:30-ish. And I'll give you a quick calendar, and then we'll chow out. Every Sunday at the Royal Esquire Club in Columbia City, it's a real band that backs you up, and it's 8 p.m. They rotate hosts. Every Sunday at the Spar Beer Parlor, they have blues. Every Monday evening at the Blue Moon in Seattle, Andy Coe, who also works here at the Seattle Drum School, pretty much every Monday he's over there at the Blue Moon at 9 o'clock. Every Monday at the Nectar Lounge, they take everybody at the end of the jam sessions and mix them up. I'm sorry, no, that's the Nectar Lounge. I'm thinking about the Sea Monster. That's where they go afterwards. Monday night's a happening night for blues jams. The Capitol Cider on Tuesday is where John Pinetree, harmonica player, does a blues showcase at 6:30. Every Tuesday, a jazz jam at the Roomba Room. They include blues, though. They really do. Columbia City with Sheila Kay or Tess Thomas, one of the two. They start at 7 o'clock. Every Wednesday at Arlena's in Kirkland, Lizzie Sunshine singing her heart out from 6 to 9 p.m. Every Wednesday at Dawson's, there's a blues jam. Every Wednesday at Madison's in Everett, there's a blues jam. Every Wednesday at Tim's Tavern in White Center, it's an open mic, 6:30 start up there. And Left Hand Smoke played there last week. That's I used to play them on the radio. Every Wednesday, as I mentioned, Golden West has Jerry Miller in Tacoma, 7 to 11 p.m. Every Thursday at the Flight Path in Boulevard Park. Am I going too long? Oh, sorry. Jam with John Stoudemire, Herman Brown, Curtis Seals, about 8 p.m. start. That's a wonderful night. Every Thursday at the Salmon Bay Eagles, they have music in Ballard. It's been about 20 years going. A blues night there. Every third Saturday at Chang's Thai in North Bend, another North Bend connection. Lonnie Williams there every third Saturday. And he's worth following. Mm-hmm. The Stylistics have one more night tonight at Demetria's Jazz Alley. McMinimans in Tacoma. The Stylistics. McMinimans in Tacoma. See, this is a soul man. He knows his soul. Tommy Castro and the Painkillers. If you got any pain, go see Tommy Castro and the Painkillers. They'll be at McMinimans in Tacoma tonight. They'll be at the Muse in Conway, the Conway Muse, tomorrow, the 26th. And the 27th, they'll be back in Seattle at the Triple Door. Tommy Castro and the Painkillers. There is also an opera about Malcolm X called X. It's at the Seattle Opera through March 9th. You might have heard new development they found new information about his assassination. So Ben Crump is on the case, that great lawyer who seems to be popping up every time. Aurora Borealis has, in Shoreline, has a jazz police big band on the 28th, and that's a historic name in Seattle. Boy, they've been around. 7:30 start there. The 29th, we got 29 days in February this month. But it's almost up. I can't believe it. Seattle's Slim's Last Chance. A great venue with some outdoor space. The Dusty 45s are going to play there. Yes, indeed. At 6 p.m. on the 29th. That's worth showing up for. I might have to review their bathroom this week. All right. Demetria's Jazz Alley also has a great show coming up the 5th and 6th of March. Albert Cummings with Curtis Salgado and Alan Hager. And the new release by them is produced by Tom Hambridge, who's one of the best songwriters out there these days and performers as well. Look for the Smokey Robinson show at the Paramount Theater on March 30th. That'll do for them.
Oh, hey!
That's another soul show for you. All right, I got future guests. I'm going to have Bobby Vega here next week. Thank you very much, Renee, for helping me out with that. Looking forward to the Academy's Lily Gladstone. The Color Purple, the musical. We have some great culture and art in America, and we're going to keep doing that. This is not going to be a dictatorship if I have anything to do with it. Alligator Records got nominated for at least 27 blues awards. Those happen in May. Salute to Alligator Records.
Salute.
Salute. And I think that's it for now. It is like Blues Church every Sunday afternoon here at the Seattle Drum School. 1 o'clock, we got coffee. Can you tell? Yeah, we had a little coffee to start this show from the lab at the Seattle Drum School. This is the Blues to Do live stream podcast. My name is Marlee Walker. Live in the blues until next week. Bye for now. Blues Lady, Lady Blues, real music, real people, real stories. Thank you very much, Anthony.
Thank you, Marlee. Thank you, Christian. Thank you, Renee.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.